Hey y'all, I'm Brittany, and I've had a lot of my friends message me about my Disney College Program experience getting accepted and all the things that had to do with that. So I figured instead of typing everything out for them, that I would just make this video so you guys could also see my expression and I'd be able to tell you a little bit more detail than I would just typing things out. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how I heard about the program, my journey leading up to applying, and then my application process, and then finally getting accepted, and kind of where it's going to go from there. So first off, if you don't know what the Disney College Program is, it's a program that Disney has for anyone in college, so freshman to senior, and then they even have some grad program opportunities and internships, but I'm just doing the Disney College Program. And what you do is you apply for these many different jobs, and you go through a web-based interview after you apply, and if they tell you you can move forward, you go to a web-based interview, which is basically like a Disney personality test to see how you would fit in terms of your personality, and also it gives you a little bit of scenario questions to see how you would react in different scenarios. And then directly after your web-based interview, it'll tell you, yay, you got an interview, or sorry, we're going to NLIC you, which means no longer in consideration. Luckily, I did not get that. I got the, yes, we want to talk to you on the phone, had a phone interview. You do the phone interview with a recruiter from Disney, and then you wait until you get accepted. So that's kind of the process, just a little overview. You could get your top role, or you can get the lowest of the low roles, but all the roles that Disney provides are fantastic, and you're going to be working for Disney, so woo! So here's a little bit about how I heard about the program and why I decided that I wanted to apply. So my cousin worked for Disney during the Disney College Program. I think I was around 10 when she did her program. And I remember her coming to our family Christmases and talking about her experience with Disney and just the way that she got to touch people's lives. And I was like, you're working for Disney? That's my favorite. I love Disney so much. And she talked about how she could make magic for people. And I was like, wow, what a career path. And I was like, I really want to do this. And I remember her sending me this Barbie doll. It was like a limited edition Mickey Mouse Club Barbie, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And she has to do a lot of cool things, which I'm not going to talk about, but I was like, wow, she has my dream job working for a company that I'm very passionate about, just because a lot of you guys know I'm very passionate about the arts and education, and Disney is the perfect place to express that. So that's how I heard about the program. So ever since she told me about that, I was like, this could be something that I could do when I get older. So that's how I heard about the program. And then a little bit of a flash forward. A lot of you all know that I love theater, love dance. It's just kind of my happy place. And I really thought, wow, that would be a super cool dream if I could ever dance in a Disney parade or be friends with fur characters. So I was like, yeah, that's a dream. That's pretty cool. I could do that. I don't know, and I've been praying about whatever God wants me to do, that His will would happen overall. So I joined a dance studio my sophomore year of college, and I learned so much that experience. I love Center Stage. Y'all are family, the best. I love you all. And my dance instructor was like, hey, our dance studio is going to Disney and we're dancing at Disney. And I was like, my dream could happen. And so I told my parents about it, and we've always dreamed about going to Disney, but we just never could make it happen. And so I told them about this opportunity, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. And so the summer of 2019, I got to go to Disney with my family, but I not only got to go on vacation, but I got to dance at Disney Springs for the Disney Performing Arts program there. It was incredible. It rained a lot, but I do think that was God being so intentional about, hey, if you really want to do Disney, here's kind of the start of it. And then that was the start of like, ooh, God's working cool things. And then in August, applications for the college program opened up, and I was like, ooh, I'm graduating in December. I don't know what I'm going to do for, 6-7 months of my time. I need a job. And all throughout my college career, I kind of just debated on if I would do the program or not. I don't know. I just was like, I don't know if this is for me. Should I do it? But I don't know. I really felt that I needed to apply. God kind of put that on my heart. And so on August 22nd, 2019, I put in my application for the Disney College program. And 3 things that I really have been just really praying for starting that day and even until now. I prayed for God's will to prevail overall, even if it wasn't to be in the program, that He still had a plan for me, obviously, and that I would follow through with that. And then the second thing I prayed for was just a peace. I get worried and I get scared about what's going to happen in my future all the time. A lot of my friends know that. And so I prayed for just a peace and an understanding that it's going to be okay. I don't need to worry. Just a peace that I'd be able to continue on with my semester without having to worry about it too often. And then I also prayed for clarity throughout the entire process. So those are the 3 big things I prayed for every single night. And when people ask me what I need prayer for, I was like, Disney College program, here's the 3 things I need prayer for. And so after I applied on the 22nd, it was around like 8 o'clock when I got home from classes, I applied. And then 2 hours later, around 10:30, I found out that I had a web-based interview, which I was freaking out about. I was super excited. I told my family and my boyfriend. I was like, I got a web-based interview, which is crazy. And so the next day, I ended up taking my web-based interview. It took me about 30 to 45 minutes, and it was just I was very nervous the entire time, and I was like, but ended up working out. And after my web-based interview, I got this little handy dandy email, which I will show the screen, that said my next step, which I don't know if you can see that, but next step is an interview. Woo woo! And so I FaceTimed my boyfriend, and he got this ugly video of me bawling about me getting an interview and sent it to all my friends and stuff. But so yeah, I got my web-based interview, and then about a week later I had my phone interview. But before I get into that, here's the crazy part about this entire thing. So like I said, I've been praying for His will, peace, and clarity. And so that Saturday, I was with my family, and we were at the gas station. And I just happened to look over at this car, and I was like, oh, there's a Mickey Mouse decal on there. It's super cool. It was stainless steel, really pretty. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I looked over to talk to my brother, and I looked back over, and I was like, it's away. Cool. It was really cool. And then I went to Target, and I was waiting for my family to get back from doing their shopping. I was in the front of the store, and I looked at the magazines, and I was like, that's a Mickey Mouse magazine, on the front cover. Interesting. I was like, Mickey Mouse, cool. And then, the same day, this is all on the same day, I went to this restaurant here at the lake, and on their TV, they were playing boat races, because it was boat race weekend, but it was live stream, and the live streaming video kept cutting in and out and kept buffering, and the people in the restaurant were getting mad about it. And so the guy turned the station, he turned it back to a normal TV, and they were watching a college football game, but the first thing that came on was a commercial. and it was a Walt Disney World commercial. And I was like, three times in one day? What is this? And so, like, I told a couple people about it, and they're like, oh, that's cool, but, like, it probably doesn't mean anything. And I was like, yeah, but, like, this is weird. And, like, I knew I'd been praying for those 3 things. And so that night I, prayed some more about it. And things just, like, started happening. Like, my students one day wore Disney shirts, and I was like, ah, cool, Mickey Mouse. And I'll tell you a little bit more about my other signs later. But that was just kind of the beginning part of the whole clarity thing. So now we're at the interview. So I had my interview on August 29th at 8:30 at night, which is pretty late, but I knew I wanted to do it later because I had school in the morning and I wanted to come home and, like, chillax and then have my interview. And so what I did to prepare for my interview is I found this link to a bunch of questions that they could potentially ask you. And so I went through and, like, I practiced these answers and made a little study guide to have out while I was having my interview because it was a phone interview. And so at 8:30 at night, my recruiter called me. She called me a little bit early. I think she called me at like 8:25 or something like that. And I answered the phone, and she was super sweet, super bubbly, which I loved. So we had a really good conversation. But I had, like, a little place on my, like, little study guide to, like, write my recruiter's name so I wouldn't forget it, so I could call her by her name whenever she hung up the phone. And so I totally thought my recruiter's name was Annie. And so I wrote down Annie. I even, like, called her Annie multiple times throughout this interview, okay? Like, it was, yeah, I, like, tried to be intentional about it. But the interview was pretty chill. She asked me about 4 of the roles I was interested in. She asked me about quick service food and beverage. She asked me about the Caesar position. She asked me about PhotoPass, and then she also asked me about children's activities, which was my top role that I really wanted. And so the interview lasted about 22 minutes. And I felt super great. Like, she was so much fun to talk to. We laughed a lot, and I felt like I had a really good connection with her. But I, like, hung up the phone afterwards and, like, that was super great, I feel really good about this. And then I had this, like, thought in my head, and I was like, what if her name was Amy and not Annie? And I was like, like, it just can't be. And so I'm on this Facebook page with some of the Disney College program, like, people that are, like, in the process of applying and stuff as a group. And so I, like, went on this page and I, like, looked and see, like, who other people had for their recruiters. And I never saw an Annie, okay? I never saw one. But I kept seeing Amy, and I was like, crap. I called my recruiter by the wrong name. And so I was, like, bawling about this, and I was like, I'm done, this is history, whatever, it's okay, it was a dream, it was good that I had the interview, it was a good experience or whatever, but I was like, crap, I just screwed this all up. Anyway, that was that. And then throughout the 3 weeks that I waited for my results, like I said, kept praying for those 3 things: His will, peace, and clarity. And God showed me so much clarity throughout this entire process. So, like I said, the day that I saw all the Mickey stuff, and then, like, at school, a couple of the pairs would wear Disney shirts, and I was like, that's cool. And the students in my class, randomly one day they had Play-Doh out, and they were, like, making Mickey stuff. Like, they made, like, Mickey drinks and Mickey apparel, and they're like, Miss Davis, you need to judge us on these. And I was like, okay, God, what is this? And, like, I got my nails done one day, and my nail tech was wearing a Minnie Mouse shirt, and I was like, God, like, you're showing me a lot of things that, like, wouldn't be normal. And I was like, God, just keep giving me this clarity. Like, I love it. It's super cool. And then this is, like, the biggest thing. One night, I went to sleep, had a dream about being a lifeguard at Disney, which, if you know me, I'm not a huge swimmer. But I was like, cool, Disney dream, love that. And then about a couple days later, I'd maybe say 5 days later, I had another dream about getting accepted into the program. And I was like, wow, that's super cool. But this is the really cool part. So, Tavis's mom, which is my boyfriend, Sarah is her name, she texted me that same night or she texted me in the morning. She had a dream the same night. But she said, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I had a dream about my family coming to see you at Disney. I just thought that you should know that. And I said, no way. I legit had a dream about getting accepted in the program. And she was like, wow, that's like God working. And I was like, yeah, that was crazy. So like, I told a couple more friends about this stuff. I kind of like kept it a little private. I didn't want a lot of people knowing that I was applying for the program, just because if I didn't get accepted, then I didn't want it to be a bummer to everybody. But I told a couple of my friends about this, and they were like, this could really mean something. Like, God's really talking to you right now. And I was like, yeah, throughout this entire process, I learned to really just trust in Him, and that He has a plan for everything. Another one of the signs that I had was I was at school, and I needed this book for my classroom, like back at college. But I needed this book while I was student teaching for my classroom. And so I was at the SBU library. I was going to see if I could check this book out. But they didn't have it, but I went to go look just to make sure. And I think I still have this picture. But right next to where this book would be at was a Disney book. So here it is. Right here. Boom. Disney. I was like, this is so cool. So God kept giving me a bunch of these little signs or whatever. So a couple days before I got accepted, I was directing a church camp back at home. And so I was telling a person that I really look up to spiritually about what was going on. And she was like, girl, God's really speaking to you. You just maybe need to pray about that you see the clarity, but maybe try to speed up the process. And I was like, should I be praying for that? And so that night at altar, at camp, I really prayed about that. I was like, God, I see you're working. I see that you're so evident. I thank you that you're so evident in this process right now. I just asked if there's any way you can speed this up. That would be super cool. And then one of the themes for the camp I was working at was how you're going to impact the world. And so I was like, okay, cool. And so Tavis, my boyfriend, he's like, you're going to impact the world at Disney. So he wrote Disney on a sticky note for me, and I placed it on the world. So we had this world map, and you could put post-it notes or whatever on it. And he's like, you're going to impact the world at Disney. I just know it. I've been praying about it. I know it. And so he wrote it on the sticky note, like I said, and then he made me place it on Orlando, Florida on the map. And I was like, okay, cool. I did that, but I still don't know. And I've been worrying about it. I cried about it all the time when waves would come out and I didn't get in on that wave. I would cry about it and be worried or whatever. I'm sorry I'm going back and forth and all this stuff, but another camp thing. So one of my campers, he's like, I need to hug you before I leave camp. And I was like, okay. And so he comes up to me after camp, gives me a hug. This is after I prayed for a lot of things that I was telling you about. And I look over at his suitcase, and on his suitcase was a Walt Disney World luggage tag. And I was like, okay, God, I just know it. I know what's going to happen. It's just your timing now. And so that was on Saturday. And then on Tuesday, September 24th, I believe that's the right day. I'm going to make sure. Yes, Tuesday, September 24th was a life-changing day for me. So I was in my student teaching classroom, and I kind of knew that maybe there'd be a wave that day, but like I didn't know. And so I sent my students off to specials, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check my phone. I'll just do this once. Like, it's not gonna happen, but like, I'll just check it. And so I checked my phone, and let me pull up the picture. And this was in my email. You've been accepted. And I was like freaking out in my classroom, and my cooperating teacher's like, what's going on? I was like, I just got accepted to be in the Disney College program. And she was like freaking out with me, and I was like, I gotta figure out what my role is. And so I got into my email, and I went into my dashboard, which is where you see all your updates. And my dashboard did not update about me having a position at Disney. It was still in my interview phase, and I was like, what if this didn't happen? What if this was just a big joke? And then I like refreshed it like 3 or 4 times, and it finally popped up. And so I was like trying to figure out where I could find my offer letter. I could not find it anywhere, and I was like freaking out because I was so excited. But then I found my offer letter, so I went to my offer letter, and it said that I will be a seater at Walt Disney World. So what that is, it's basically a hostess. So they check people in on their reservations, they take the guests to their seats, and then I believe they also do a little bit of busting tables. I'm not 100% sure, but the main job is to make sure the guests have their reservations in, call people for reservations, and then you go sit them at their seat. So that's what I'll be doing. I am super thrilled, super excited. I cried a lot, and then I called my boyfriend and told him I got accepted, and then I called my dad and told him I got accepted. And then for my mom, I wanted to do something really special for her. So I sent her flowers, basically saying thank you for supporting all my hopes and dreams this far. Please still support me in my dream, as I will be participating in the Disney College program. Love you. My name Brittany. And she was crying whenever she received those. But yeah, and then I filled out my information to get hired on at Disney, and filled out my housing form and all that stuff. So I actually got the program time that I wanted. So I got Spring Advantage, which means I will be there a little bit longer than the normal program. So I will be leaving on January 27th. Well, I'm supposed to be there at January 27th. I'll probably leave a couple days before. But my program starts January 27th, and then my program ends on July 30th. So I will be there a whole 7 months working for the Walt Disney World Company. And I'm just still shocked and amazed how evident God was. And I was even like really diving deep into the Word during this entire time, and I still am. But I learned so much about trusting God and really relying on Him. And yeah, I did worry a lot. It's human nature, but I'm seriously so excited and so blessed about this opportunity I'm going to be having. And I'm incredibly, incredibly blessed and thankful for an amazing support system, not only in my friends, but especially my family, and especially my boyfriend Tevis. They're all super happy and super hopeful and super excited about all these things. But yeah, I know I still have my hopes and dreams about maybe one day performing. I'm hoping that ends up happening in my career path down at Disney, because that would be so cool. Like, my dream is to be a parade performer at Walt Disney World. But so we'll see what happens with my career at Disney. I am, like I said, so thrilled about the opportunity, and I just cannot believe how evident God was throughout this entire process. So I really hope that you enjoyed my video. I would love your continued prayers and support as I continue my process, because I still don't know my location, where I'll be working. I won't find that out until about a week before I depart. And then I won't find out who my roommates are until I step in foot on Disney property at my apartment. So that's a little stressful, but I know that since God was so evident in this beginning process, I know He's going to be so evident and so good through the ending process of getting officially hired on by Disney. But yeah, I'm going to be living on Disney property, and I'm going to be able to go to the parks, and it's going to be so much fun and a learning experience, and I seriously cannot wait. So if you have any more questions, I would love to answer them, or if you want to talk to me about this. Yeah, I'm still super thrilled that I get this opportunity of a lifetime. So yeah, I'm gonna be making some magic at Disney. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and yeah, I'm very just blessed. Bye guys.